Nevada County. We're at Cerritos, and my guest is Laurie Bethell Bratt, and my first opportunity to meet her. And Laurie, what a pleasure. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, John. I really appreciate being here and having the opportunity to talk about what I'm doing in Nevada City and Grass Valley.
Great. We can't wait to hear it. Let's talk about you a little bit. You're new to the community. You bought a home in Nevada City back in April, and tell us a little bit about you before that.
John, I'm originally from the East Coast, right outside of New York City, and worked in Manhattan for almost 14 years. I worked for a large consumer products company and was always very interested in dealing with people. As I moved west to Denver and then farther west even to Reno and now in Grass Valley and Truckee area and in Nevada City, I decided to really offer the skills that I have and help people. So that was really what was on my heart and in my soul to do for the community, which is why I opened the business Soul Streaming.
So tell us about the work that you do and what kind of led up to this. You've had some life experiences that were somewhat tragic, and through that process you learned some healing, and so let's talk about that.
Yes, John. About 13 years ago, my former husband was diagnosed with a very rare bone cancer, and I dealt quite frequently with different Western medicine situations, operations, chemotherapy, and managed my husband's care. If I knew now, or if I knew then what I know now, I would be doing the whole process and taking care of him differently. And by that I mean I would have really looked at the holistic health process. Once I went through that experience, I really wanted to get more in touch with my body, my mind, my spirit, and see how that might benefit me moving forward in my life. And I wanted to offer that to other people as well, and that is the world that I wanted to work in. So this soul streaming work really alleviates grief. It takes care of trauma. It's an amazing modality, and it gets rid of, when I say gets rid of it, it really transmutes the energy inside of a person so that they can move on with their life and rid themselves of things that no longer serve them.
All right, so tell us about the educational process that is involved and how you, and I know you're awaiting certification sometime in April, I guess, getting pretty close. What kind of training did you go through, and what was that like?
I worked under the Judith Kravitz. She's the founder of this technique and modality, and she developed this back in 1992. I only wanted to work with Judith Kravitz because she's traveled all over the world training different facilitators. I started almost 2 years ago with this process, and by the time I finished with the complimentary sessions I do and staffing different week-long seminars and training events, I probably will have put in 800 hours. So it's quite extensive, and it's really benefited me so that I know different patterns of breath. I can read a person's breath and understand how they're breathing and really kind of look at what their lifestyle and life pattern is by their breath.
Is there any science behind this to back it up?
Yes, there are 3 parts to this breath work that are addressed. The first is physical. It really opens up the breath pattern, massages the inner organs of the system, oxygenates the body, really clears up your mind in a huge way. Great for asthma patients, people with COPD, and we work with them in a special fashion. The second part of this breath work is accessing the energy, the stuck, so to speak, energy in your system by bringing in the circular breath for a full hour. So as you're breathing, that life force, that fresh prana comes in and meets the lower form of energy that is in your body. And that is called entrainment. And this is basically stated, it's something in quantum physics as a universal principle. So the vibrational energy actually becomes heightened, and the vibration of your energy changes into a healing fashion.
Listening to that, I think of the people I work with, the trainers I work with, and specifically a guy we both know, Homer Nottingham, and the focus while you're exercising, no matter what form of exercise you're doing, the importance of breathing. I mean, deep breathing, deep cleansing breathing. And so there's a lot of verification of that science in no matter what focus of exercise that you're trying to do. What kind of experiences have you seen in the work you're doing, the hours that you're putting in? I'm sure you're working with clients, gaining the hours that you need to get your certification. Share some of the experiences.
Well, what I've seen are people who are overachievers. I see quite a bit of that, and they're heavy belly breathers, we call them, where their breath is, they work really, really hard to get their breath out and puff a big puffed chest and belly. And I can read that right away, so I can have the people relax and really try to breathe in a more rhythmic, softer fashion, a softer exhale. And we make sure that a person doesn't hyperventilate because the exhale is shorter than the inhale. And so that is a very common breath pattern. The other breath pattern that we see a lot is for a lot of women don't breathe all the way down into their belly, which signifies that they're not in their power, not fully in their feminine power. So that's another breath breath type that we see. The third breath type that's very common is that quite a few people are not really feeling in their heart. So when the chest doesn't move, and let's say it goes down into the lower abdomen and comes back up through the midsection but does not go into the chest, then there's a way to deal with that and get the person into their heart and feeling more, and it basically transmutes the energy, and that person is now able to feel into their heart and access their emotions much more easily.
My guest is Laurie Bethell Bratt. Her business is called Soul Streaming. You can reach her at Laurie, Laurie, Bethel, Bethell, at gmail.com. And phone number 775-250-5612. We're going to talk about a session coming up, a ribbon cutting she's doing in conjunction with the Nevada City Chamber on March 5th at Interpath, 200 Commercial Street. We're going to talk about that and how that's going to benefit Hospitality House. So all around, we've got some great people doing some great things in our community, and Laurie's just another example of what a wonderful world we have here in our community. So we'll be back with the final segment for What a Wonderful World. We, again, are at Shriners at Main Street. Food is just awesome. You're having just a big old bowl of minestrone, and I love the minestrone. That's a meal in itself, right?
It's really good. Really good. And I've not been here before this because I'm relatively new to town, so I'm really excited to be here.
It's a great restaurant. Jerry's such a great guy. And when I walked in, you and Jerry were talking about his situation. He's got a phobia about water from an injury that happened back in Vietnam. And you seem to really have captivated his interest in the kind of work you can do to help him maybe overcome that. Can you share a little bit without getting too much detail?
Absolutely. Transformational Breath, which is a part of Soul Streaming, the name of my company. Transformational Breath will take trauma. It will take any type of old stored memory, something that no longer serves you in this life going forward in a happy way. And it takes that and it transmutes that energy so that it's a positive, much more positive, higher vibration. And this stuff works. It is phenomenal. I can't say. I'm just so excited to be able to share this with this community. So I'm going to work with Jerry. I'm actually going to give him a complimentary session so that he can perhaps alleviate some of this trauma that he experienced during his injury in Vietnam.
So you can deal with injuries and circumstances. I mean, we're talking 40 plus years ago that this happened with Jerry. Not to give away his age or anything, but his beard is turning gray. But anything like that, with any experience, the death of a loved one, as you've experienced in your life several times, and it's worked for you personally.
It's the reason why I was attracted to this work from the very beginning. I went to 2 sessions over in Truckee, and then I had 3 sessions at our home. My husband and I did this together, and I had a huge amount of loss in my life over the last 10 years. And this alleviated so much of it. It felt as though this enormous black cloud was lifted off of me, and I cannot explain how it really does remove the grief, transmutes that negative energy and that sad energy.
Wow, sounds pretty powerful. Let's talk about March 5th and what's going to happen. Now, you're not going to be at your own personal studio. You're going to be at Interpath. which is a great facility right there on 200 Mercer Street. A good friend of mine does his yoga therapy work, Bob Ash, right in that same building. So it's a beautiful space, and I'm curious as to what's going to happen for people who do stop by.
Between 1 and 3 on Saturday, March 5th, I'll introduce the business Soul Streaming, and I'll also, for anyone that comes, if they want a complimentary coaching session, I'm happy to do that for them, combining holistic health and energy healing and the transformational breath together for that coaching session. Additionally, I will be giving out a complimentary transformational breath session to the person that wins the raffle. So, and it will be a meet and greet, a mixer for, I call it people of the tribe, members of the tribe, people that are interested in the healing arts or people that just want to find out more about transformational breath. So I hope I can see you all there.
And you're asking for a $5 donation, not required, but would be encouraged for anybody who does come by, and you're going to benefit a local nonprofit.
Yes, we're going to benefit Hospitality House, and I believe that there will be someone from Hospitality House at the event explaining what they do for the community here in Nevada County. So please do come by, and if you can swing that $5, love offering, that would be amazing.
And you've got a special place in your heart for the homeless through your experiences in New York City, and share that with us.
Yes, New York City, there was an incredible amount of homeless people on the streets. They did have places to go, shelters to go at night, but we'd see so many on the streets begging for food and begging for, money. And I worked in Manhattan for almost 4 years, so I hold it very dear and near to my heart that I can perhaps affect the homeless in a positive way here in the community. And that's why I chose Hospitality House as the charity of my choice for donating and gathering funds for.
And this can certainly use the help. There's been some rumors of grant funding going away and whatnot, so that'd be very beneficial. Now, you mentioned to me during this last break that this person who worked and trained you will be here at the open house and performing the actual therapy on you?
Yes, Melissa Black Kravitz. She's Judith Kravitz's daughter, which is how I was introduced to the breath. She works over in Tahoe City and in Truckee, and she has told me that she will be at the event, and I will be demonstrating on her, or she will be demonstrating on me, how the breath process works. It is an hour long, so this will be a 5 or 10 minute demonstration of how we set the person up and how the breath process takes place. So we're really looking forward to showing everyone that's there how the breath process works.
Now, you mentioned her name being Melissa. So now that's 4 Melissas I know. Melissa Missler is the one who contacted me about how important it was for me to get you some time on the air and talk about this whole process of soul streaming. Is Melissa the one that's involved with, for goodness sakes, this organization in Truckee? Tell us a little bit about that, because that was very intriguing.
Melissa, for goodness sake, is an organization that it's a freestanding building run by an endowment and donations from a very kind and exceptional family in South Lake Tahoe. That's where the funds are coming for. And I found this class that Melissa Black was giving, and it was a complimentary class. There were a group of us there, and I was blown away, so to speak, by the breath work. It was just amazing. And then she proceeded to come to our house 3 times. We lived in Truckee at that time. And the second session I had with her was phenomenal. I had so much grief and loss in my life, and she was able to really have that energy, that stored dark energy that was in me. She was able to access that and transmute that with me so that I lost all of that negative, saddened energy. And it was amazing. And so Melissa's very gifted, very intuitive. So if you're over in Tahoe City or Truckee, that's her bailiwick, and you might want to contact, for goodness sake, to get in touch with her.
And you mentioned, for goodness sake, it offers a lot of other services to the community at large, and I'd love to get more information about them and maybe get them on the air sometime. Just a quick thumbnail sketch. We have about 2 minutes left.
Yes, they're run by a gentleman by the name of Andy. He is director, and there's another man, Matthew. Both of them work full-time. There's 2 part-time people there. And what they do is they offer free classes. They will have someone come in and do lecture. They are really the center for anyone who is interested in spirituality, the center in town to go to. Whether it's Tahoe City or Kings Beach or Truckee, everyone will go there knowing that that is a place where you can come in off the street, find a fabulous library of spiritual books, CDs, programs available. Just love that place. I wish we had something like that here.
It'd be nice to maybe duplicate it here, so we'll be in contact with them for certain. Okay, so let's go just one more time. We've got an event happening, a ribbon cutting for your business, soul streaming that's happening on the 5th of March from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Interpath, 200 Commercial Street, Nevada City. Your contact information is 775-250-5612. Laurie Bethell at gmail.com, LaurieBethell. And, well, look forward to having you on again after you get your business going and finding out maybe bringing a client who's had some positive experience with